y'all, and welcome back to my channel. Or if it is your first time here, welcome especially. I'm Sally, and I am so glad you stopped by. First of all, if you have not watched last week's video, we need to go back, skirt, get the foundation for what we're about to talk about today. But that being said, we are getting ready to dive into our first of 3 pro-metabolic workout routines, specifically focusing today on the upper body, centered around strength training, hitting our functional foundational movement patterns. There's not much else to say. Don't forget to like the video if you like what you see and hit that subscribe button, but let's get into it. First thing we want to do is start warming up. I like to do some internal and external rotation to protect my shoulders, get those rotator cuffs nice and geared up, ready to go. For this, I like to use the cable cross. So I set this attachment, it's usually in the center. There are 2 handles, we just need 1. I set it so that my elbow can stay right at my side and my hand can stay maybe a tiny bit below the elbow, but overall it's pretty level. Lightest weight usually here. We're just pulling in, trying to keep the elbow glued in towards the body. Admittedly, I struggle with this, but that's why we do it. We come in and back out. It shouldn't feel like anything crazy, but it's up here, getting nice and warm. I like to do about 8 to 12 repetitions, just depending on how many you're able with the weight, like that. Then we're gonna switch arms facing the same direction, elbow pinned in. We go external. Then you're gonna flip around and literally do the same thing on the other side. I like to do about 2 to 3 sets at those 8 to 12 repetitions of my internal and external rotation, of course, per side, per internal and external. And then I wanna find kind of a gentle pulling exercise, pulling movement to get my back muscles firing. And that's what we're gonna do now. I'm gonna do a straight arm pull down, probably about 3 sets of maybe 10 to 12. I keep it higher volume to start. Don't overthink the rep count. Just overall, think 8 to 12 repetitions. And when we get into the working sets, we're gonna stay around 4 sets per exercise. But here, maybe a little lighter, a little bit more. We are going to use a straight bar. Forgot to show you, but a straight bar just like this. You can also use a rope, but I like this better. It's up above. We're gonna step back here, drive the hips back gently, roll the shoulders down and back to relax your traps here. And with straight arms, we pull this down to the pelvis and all the way back up. Down to the pelvis, right back up, making the mind muscle connection with those muscles through your back. If you recall from the last video, something we talked about were our planes of motion. In our upper body workout, we are gonna hit our vertical push, vertical pull, horizontal push, and horizontal pull planes of movement. And we are kicking it off with our vertical pull. So our lat pull down should be familiar if you watched the last video, making sure that my legs are braced in so I'm not going anywhere. We're gonna reach up, stand up, grab that bar, lock your position in here, rolling the shoulders down and back, pull down to the chest, control on the way back up. Bringing those elbows down towards and past your armpits into the side body. Once again, I would recommend starting with about 8 to 10 repetitions for about 4 sets. Start the weight somewhere that feels good. You can do those repetitions, no problem. But then once you hit, 10 reps, the next time try kicking it up. See how it feels, see if you can still keep those shoulders relaxed. And that's how we're gonna find, where it's good for you to start out working. Next up is our horizontal pulling movement for the day. I'm going to do this at the low row, cable cross low row. But if you saw the other video, we also did a bench kind of supported single arm low row. That's a great option as well. Shoulders down and back. We're gonna grab the handles, plant the feet, drive back, squeeze the back muscles, and control it on the return, just like this. Once you lock in that range of motion, don't be afraid to pick up the weight. Find what works for you, and then you can gradually get that progressive overload to get stronger. Moving on to our horizontal pressing movement for the day, that is going to be a dumbbell chest press to really get into those pecs. So go ahead, select your dumbbells. We're gonna take a seat on the bench, then we're gonna lay down, making sure head, neck, and shoulders are supported and tucking those shoulder blades under. Feet are firmly planted, elbows are below the shoulders. Drive with those pecs to take your weights up to the top and control it on the way back down. Squeeze your pecs and control it on the way back down. Just FYI, if you feel it at all in those shoulders, particularly towards the front, that is normal, is engaging those shoulders a little bit, but primarily getting through the front of the body with those pecs. And for our vertical pressing movement, just gonna go to that overhead press. I have back support here to help keep everything lined up and engaged, planting the feet, tight core. You can use the legs to help drive the weights up to the shoulders. Drive up using those shoulders, control it on the way back down. And always make sure that you're getting those arms up to the same height. It's hard to do it unless you have a mirror. And I know you can see I'm not perfect at it, but that's why we work at it. To end this workout, we're gonna do a little bit of a burnout combo. We're gonna do what is called a superset. All that means we're taking 2 exercises and we are going to do them back to back, not resting until after we complete both of them. What we're gonna do is a lateral raise and a chest fly. And these are some of those accessory movements, but the reason, or at least the lateral raises, but the reason we do it is because it's gonna help you have a stronger shoulder press, and it's gonna help with those medial delts in particular, which sometimes don't get quite as much attention as the anterior delts, for instance. So relatively light weights on this particular exercise, shoulders down and back. Start with your palms facing the body, and then we're gonna bring the arms up to shoulder level, control it back down. I would encourage you not to go past the shoulders, just take it to about parallel and control. Again, that's gonna help protect your rotator cuffs, protect those traps from taking on too much tension. So let's go ahead and do about 10 to 12 this time repetitions, and then we're gonna bring it right down to the bench. Take a seat, set it up very much like you would a chest press. And then we wanna lay back, tuck your shoulder blades under, break the bench while you're doing it. And we're gonna take the arms up above head. From here, think about ballerina arms. So we have soft elbows, but otherwise things are pretty straight. We're gonna open up. We're gonna squeeze the pecs to bring the arms back together. And the function of this is just that it's another way our pecs work. It's another way they move. It's gonna help you with shoulder mobility, range of motion there. And just think, you can have a very powerful hug if you train your pec flies enough. Well, that is it for today's workout, y'all. Make sure to take a little bit of time to stretch, to cool down after the fact. And remember, this is just a template. It's just a little bit of help if you are starting out to make sure we're getting a comprehensive workout. So feel free to substitute any other movements for the horizontal push and pull, vertical push and pull, or your finisher. Thanks so much for watching. Make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss next week's lower body workout. Until next time, bye y'all.